everybody, welcome to this week's class. I hope you're all keeping well. It's a little bit of a dreary day outside today, so I thought we'd work quite dynamically and work a little bit of energy into the body and fire ourselves up so that we can hopefully combat the clouds and the mist that are around us at the moment today. So find yourself a space, somewhere comfortable. Take, if you feel like you might need them, a block and a strap. Otherwise, just coming to sit on your mat in a comfortable position, whether that's with your legs crossed or with the hands just resting gently in the lap, maybe taking the legs out in front if it's not comfortable to cross the legs, and just gently closing down the eyes, coming into your breath as we begin. So as always, if you're working with any injuries or anything at all today, any niggles, any slight discomforts, just taking note of those and not pushing yourself through anything that feels wrong, feels painful, taking rest where you need to, and just working with what feels appropriate for you today. So taking the focus in now towards the breath, feeling the rise and the fall of the chest as you inhale and exhale. Start just taking a few cleansing breaths, so breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more, really sighing it out as you breathe out. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Coming back now to breathing in and out through the nose. Really recognizing how your body feels today. Maybe it feels a little bit grey with the influence of the clouds, or maybe you're moving past that. Maybe you're feeling other things. Maybe you're feeling a bit brighter than the outside. Keeping the shoulders just drawing away from the ears. Keeping the spine and the back of the neck nice and long. Imagining as you're sitting, someone pulling you up through the crown of the head with a piece of string, drawing the crown of the head up to the sky. Really slowing down the movement of the breath. Really feeling the breath as it moves in through the nose, down the back of the throat, and down all the way to the base of the lungs. Really slowing it down. We're going to come now through our child's pose, so rolling over the knees, coming to sit with the knees wide, the hips down on the heels. Just going to slowly start to walk the hands forwards. So you might like to come up onto fingertips, gazing forwards first of all, inching the fingers forwards and then placing the hands flat down on the ground. You might wish to take a block or a pillow or something underneath your face at this point. Coming to rest with either your chin or the forehead down, either on the mat or resting down on a block or pillow, allowing that contact, feeling that contact between the head and something, whether that's the mat or something else. Keeping the breath nice and long here. Letting the shoulders draw open. Pressing the hips back down to the heels. Keeping the fingers spreading wide. Inching the fingers forwards and hips reaching back. So coming to this pose at any time during the practice that you feel you need, just to regather your thoughts, taking a moment of rest, coming down into this child's pose. Inhaling now, coming up to all fours, tucking the toes, planting the hands, lifting the hips, coming up into our downward facing dog. Tucking the chin down towards the chest, maybe just pedaling out the legs left and right, opening down the backs of each hamstring. If you've been doing any running or cycling, you might really feel this already down the backs of the legs, so just take it nice and easy. Coming to stillness, planting through the handspring, hands, fingers wide, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, drawing the kneecaps up to the thighs, tucking chin towards the chest, gazing towards the navel, working the heels down towards the mat. Breathing here, slowing the breath right down. We walk the feet up to the hands. Keep the feet either together or slightly apart. Just going to fold forwards. If the hands don't quite come down to the mat, you can take a block underneath the hands or rest the hands up on the shins, tucking the chin down towards the chest, allowing the back of the neck to be long, keeping kneecaps pulled up to the thighs if the hands are contacting with the mat, and breathing here. Again, opening out down the backs of the legs. Release, you're going to slowly uncurl, coming all the way back to standing into Tadasana mountain pose, drawing the feet together, hands facing forward, shoulders rolling down and back. We're going to start taking a few sun salutations. So inhaling, taking the hands up to the sky, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhale, take the fingertips onto the ground, resting on the shins, gazing forward, keeping a flat back. We're going to bend the knees, plant the hands, either coming straight to our jumping back through chaturanga or stepping back to warm up initially. Coming into our plank, high plank. So either coming straight into your chaturanga as an upward facing dog or bending the knees, taking the knees, chest and chin down to the ground. Inhaling, coming up into our baby cobra, gazing up. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, sinking back through child's pose and straight up into our downward facing dog. Holding here. For 1, 2, remembering to take child's pose, taking rest at any point if you need to. 3, 4, and 5, bending the knees, looking forward, either stepping or jumping to the top of the mat, fingertips on the ground or the shins, looking forward with a flat back. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, arms coming up above the head. Exhaling, hands coming down in front of the chest. So up to you which variation you take. We'll just start all together nice and slowly. Inhaling, arms coming up. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping or jumping back to high plank. Either taking knees, chest, chin, or coming straight into your chaturanga. Inhaling, baby cobra, or straight into upward facing dog. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, sinking back through child's pose or straight up into downward facing dog. Holding here for 1, 2, again taking rest in child's pose, dropping the knees if you need to. 3, 4, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, kneecaps pulling up to the thighs. 4 and 5, bending the knees, looking forward, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forwards. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, arms coming up above the head. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. 1 more like that. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, bend the knees, stepping or jumping back to high plank. Dropping knees, chest, chin, or coming through your chaturanga. Inhaling, baby cobra or upward facing dog, gazing up. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, sinking back through child's pose or straight up into downward facing dog, holding here. For 1, 2, kneecaps pulling up towards the thighs. 2, gazing down towards the navel. 3, 4, spreading the fingers wide. And 5, gazing forwards, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. Okay, this time bending the knees, inhaling, coming up through chair pose. So we're tucking the tailbone, gazing up towards the thumbs, sinking the hips nice and low. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, looking forward with a flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, stepping or jumping back to plank. Either taking knees, chest, chin, or coming through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to turn the left toes in, right foot stepping forward. Inhaling, coming up into our warrior 1. So hips facing the short edge of the mat, gazing up towards the thumbs. Left back leg is strong, right leg bent. Exhale, folding forwards. Stepping it back to plank. Dropping knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right toes turn in, left foot steps forward. Arms coming up, warrior 1. Exhale, hands outside that front foot. Stepping back to plank, dropping through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale through child's pose or straight up into downward facing dog. Holding here for 1, 2, slowing the breath down. 3, 4, and 5. Gazing forward, bending the knees. We're going to step or jump to the front of the mat, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, arms coming up through chair pose. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. Inhale, bend the knees, arms coming up through chair. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, looking forward, bend the knees, plant the hands, step or jump back to plank. Dropping knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left toes turn in, right foot steps forward, arms coming up, warrior one. Exhale, hands coming down outside that front foot, stepping back to plank, knees just chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right toes turn in, left foot steps forward, arms coming up, warrior one. Exhale, hands outside that front foot, step it back to plank, knees just chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, holding here. Elongating the breath. Taking child's pose if you need a rest. Holding here for 3, 4, and 5. Gazing forward, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, bending the knees, arms sweep up through chair. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. Okay, final round. Bending the knees, inhale, arms coming up through chair. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping or jumping back through plank. Dropping knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left toes turn in, right foot steps forward, arms coming up, warrior one. Exhale, hands coming down outside that front foot, step it back to plank, dropping knees just chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right toes turn in, left foot forwards, arms coming up, warrior one. Exhale, hands outside that front foot, stepping back to plank, dropping knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Final downward dog for the moment, holding here. For 1, 2, letting the breath settle. 3, keeping down the gaze to the navel. 4, and 5, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the top of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, bend the knees, coming up through chair. Exhale, hands in front of the heart center. Okay, from here, you're going to inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, gazing forward. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping or jumping down through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time we're going to take our right foot up to the sky, bending the right knee, and then we're going to take the right foot behind us, coming into our flip dog. So keeping the right hand stretching away from the body, keeping the hips lifted, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming back round, coming back through our 3-legged dog, planting the right foot down, left foot coming high, make sure you've got enough space. Left leg up to the sky, bending the knee, left hip on top of the right, taking the left foot down to the floor, Left hand coming away from the body for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming all the way around, back through our three-legged dog and planting the left foot down to meet the right. We're going to lean the body forwards, coming into our high plank. From here we're going to come into our side plank, so either coming straight in on that right side if you're comfortable here, or taking the variation through gate, which is here. So taking the right leg bent, left leg outstretched, weight into the right hand, taking that left arm up to the sky, gazing up towards the left hand. If you're comfortable here and want to then extend the right leg to meet the left, take both legs out to the side, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming back through the center, coming straight onto the other side. Either coming straight into it or bending that left knee, taking the right leg out long in front of you, taking the right arm up to the side, up to the sky. The right leg's outstretched, the left leg can join the right, keeping the hips lifting for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming back down to our high plank, pushing back into our down facing dog. You're going to take the right leg up to the sky, coming through our three-legged dog, stepping the right foot between the hands, and then we're going to open the arms, coming through our warrior 2. So we're keeping the left foot turning in slightly, the right leg bent 90 degrees, gazing over those right middle finger. We're going to take the right elbow down onto the right knee, taking the left arm up and over the ear, coming into our extended side angle. If it's comfortable here, you can take that right hand down to the inside of that right leg, keeping the gaze underneath that left armpit. Holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up, pivoting the feet, coming onto the other side, bending the left knee 90 degrees, right leg is strong, right kneecap pulling up to the thigh, taking the left elbow to the left knee, inhaling, right arm coming up and over the ear, taking the gaze underneath that right armpit, either holding here if that's enough for you, or taking the left hand to the inside of the left foot. If you've got a block here and want to take some height underneath that left hand, you can take a block underneath that left hand to get you a little bit closer. Opening the chest to the right, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up, pivoting on the feet. Once again, we're going to take the hands outside that right foot, stepping it back to plank. From here, we're going to push back into our downward facing dog. If you need to take child's pose here to rest, please do. Taking the right leg up to the sky, we're going to step forward between the hands with that right foot. We're going to start with the fingertips down on the ground. If it's enough to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, we're coming up into our crescent lunge. So inhaling, taking the arms up to the sky, holding here, left. We're on the ball of the left foot, left leg is strong, gazing up towards Either the hands or just eye gazing up to the ceiling, sinking into that right hip for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to take a twist here, so bringing the hands together in front of the heart center, taking the left elbow over the right knee, taking the gaze above that right elbow for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, hands outside that front foot. Stepping back through our three-legged dog. Right foot placing down next to the left. Left foot coming up to the sky, three-legged dog. Stepping the left foot between the hands. Either staying here if that's enough for you with the fingertips resting on the ground outside that front foot, keeping the back leg strong. Or if you want a bit more, you can inhale, take the arms up to the sky, holding here in our crescent lunge on the left. For 1, 2, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. 3, 4, and 5. Coming into a twist. Now bring the hands to heart center, taking the right elbow over the left knee, opening the chest. To the left, taking the gaze above that left elbow. If it's too much here, you can always drop down onto that right knee. Holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up, back through our crescent lunge. Exhaling, hands outside that front foot. Stepping back through a three-legged dog. Left foot coming to meet the right. Taking child's pose if you need to. Or holding here in our downward facing dog. You're going to gaze forwards, bend the knees, step or jump to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, folding forwards. We're going to bend the knees, coming up through our chair pose. So tucking the tailbone, gazing up towards the thumbs, sinking down into the chair, holding here for 1, 2, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. 3, 4, and 5. Coming into a twist now, so bringing the hands in front of the heart center, left elbow to the outside of the right knee, taking the chest round to the right, just watching the knees here. That left knee tends to slip forwards of the right, so just keeping an eye on the knees, checking they're lined up at the front, taking the gaze over that right elbow for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling over to the left, keeping the gaze over that left elbow, keeping the hips sinking down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up with the hands, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping or jumping back through plank. Dropping knees, just chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, taking child's pose if you need it. Or holding here. Gazing forward, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Inhale, looking forward, flat back, fingertips on the ground. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, coming all the way up, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands in front of the heart center. Okay, we're going to take our eagle pose. So taking the weight now into the left foot. You're going to take the right foot either to the outside of the left ankle, bending at the knee, taking it to the outside of the knee, wrapping it all the way around, sinking into that left knee. From here, our arms come out to the side, right knee is on top, so the right arm's going to swing underneath the left, linking the hands if you can. Inhale, taking the hands up and away from the face, feeling that opening through the shoulders. An asymmetrical stretch here. Sinking down into the hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, unraveling, taking the weight now into the right leg, taking the left foot to the outside of the ankle, outside of the knee, or bending the knee, wrapping the left foot around the right calf, arms coming out to the side, left knee on top, left arm comes underneath the right, taking the hands together, inhaling, reaching the hands up, and exhaling away from the face, holding here for 1, 2, slowing the breath down, 3, 4, and 5, inhaling, releasing the arms, releasing the legs. We're going to come now into our tree pose, so taking the weight again into the left foot, and take the right foot either to the inside of the left ankle, the inside of the calf, or up to the inside of the left thigh, just avoiding pressing that foot into the knee joint. Taking the hands, either the knee to support the foot, keeping here, maybe bringing one hand to heart center, or bringing both hands up to heart center. Maybe taking the arms up above the head, maybe spreading the arms out wide, up to you. Maybe even closing down the eyes, testing the balance, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bringing the hands back down through heart center, taking hold of that right foot, releasing it down, taking the weight straight into the right, bringing the left foot to the inside of the ankle, inside of the shin, or up into the thigh. Bring the hands to heart center, or up to the sky, maybe spreading the arms, holding here. Tucking the tailbone down, drawing that left knee out to the side of the body for 1, 2, 3, 4, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, and 5, releasing the hands back down through heart center, taking the foot back down to the mat, giving everything a little bit of a shake off. Going to come now into our triangle pose, so taking a step to the right, pivoting the feet, so left foot's turning 45 degrees, right foot facing the short edge of the mat. Keeping the arms out to the side, taking the gaze over that right middle finger. We're going to reach and reach and reach for that right finger, and then we're going to drop the hand to the inside of the right leg, whether it comes to the inside of the thigh, the inside of the shin, maybe resting down on a block, maybe fingertips on the ground, keeping both legs really strong, gazing up towards that top thumb, holding here for 1, kneecaps pulling up to the thighs, 2, 3, opening the chest to the left, 4, and 5, inhaling, coming all the way up, pivoting on the feet, Coming straight over that left side, reaching the left hand beyond that left foot as far as you can, and then finally dropping the left hand to the inside of the left shin, inside of the left thigh, fingertips resting down on the ground. Right thumb, right middle finger pointing up to the sky, gazing up to the top hand. If there's too much on the neck, you can keep the gaze down to that left big toe. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Pivoting on the feet once again. We're going to take a slightly shorter stance, this time coming into our revolve triangle. So hips are now facing the short edge of the mat. You might want to have a block handy outside that right foot. We're going to inhale, keep the right hand on the base of the right hip. Take the left arm up to the sky, reaching up, and then exhaling, folding forward over that right leg, and then taking the hand to the outside of the right foot, whether that's down onto a block or down to the ground. Either keeping that right hand on the right hip or dropping the right arm down, forwards, and up to the sky, gazing up towards that top hand. For 1, keeping both legs really strong. 2, opening the chest to the right. 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up, pivoting on the feet, replanting that back foot, squaring off the hips to the short edge of the mat, left hand to the base of the left hip. Inhaling, right arm coming up to the sky, exhaling, folding forward, reaching forwards and forwards and forwards, and then finally taking the right hand down the outside of the left foot, either keeping the left hand on the base of the left hip or inhaling, coming up and round, opening the left arm to the sky, left side of the body is opening to the left. For 1, 2, again, if it's too much for the neck, keep the gaze down towards that left toe. For 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up, stepping off to the front of the mat. Inhaling, taking the arms up to the sky, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping or jumping back to plank. We're going to come down onto our bellies, either coming straight down or slowly coming down for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting on your bellies, taking the hands in front of you, taking the left side of the face down onto the backs of the hands, just resting here for a moment, letting the breath come back before taking a few of our back bends. Keeping the forehead now down on the ground, hands out behind you, feet zipped up together, legs zipped up together, palms of the hands down on the ground. We're going to inhale, coming into Shalabhasana, bringing everything up. Inhale, gazing forwards, arms up, legs up, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, a little higher, and 5. Exhale, hands forward, gazing to the left, letting everything go. And then preparing to come into our Shalabhasana. Once again, coming up a bit higher this time, zipping the legs up, palms flat on the ground, inhaling, lifting up for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale, hands on the ground, gazing to the right, letting it go. Coming now into our bow pose, our floor bow. So bending the knees, taking the hands to the outside of the ankles. So we're holding the ankles. We're going to keep the forehead initially down on the ground, and then inhale, lifting everything up. For 1, 2, so we're kicking the hands, kicking the feet into the hands, rolling the shoulders back. 3, 4, and 5. Exhale, release. Release the hands, release the feet. Hands on the mat, gazing to the left, letting it go. We're going to come into that once more. Preparing, taking hold of the feet with the hands, drawing the knees closer together if you can. Inhaling, lifting up, kicking back for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Releasing down, letting the feet go, taking the gaze to the right, resting the left side of the face, down on the hands. Okay, we're going to make our way now over onto our backs. Coming over however you like. We're going to take our half bridge and then our full wheel. So starting with the feet pressing down on the ground, hands reaching down towards the heels. We're going to come up first of all into our half bridge. So keeping the feet on the ground, we're going to inhale, lift the hips, tuck the chin to the chest, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly coming down vertebra by vertebra. Really important then not to rush the spine down as one, so taking your time. Taking the feet up to the sky, hands up to the sky, pressing the back down into the ground. Taking the feet back down. Now either taking the half bridge again, or if you want to come up into full wheel, if this is in your practice, taking the hands to the sides of the shoulders, pressing through the hands, pressing through the feet. Can be a little bit easier if you turn the hands out slightly. So the fingertips are turning more to the edges of the mat. I'm going to inhale, lift up, push the mat away from you, holding here. For 1, 2, 3, coming down. When you're ready, I'm going to count for 5, 4, and 5. Slowly tucking the chin towards the chest. Coming down again, vertebra by vertebra. Not rushing there, taking the hands up, taking the feet up, maybe rolling the wrists. And then taking the feet back down. I'm going to take that twice more. So coming into whichever variation is working for you, whether that's coming back into the half bridge or coming back into full wheel. Planting the hands, planting the feet. Inhaling, lifting up. Maybe if you want to take one leg up, lifting the leg up to the sky, holding here. Keeping breathing, slowing the breath, releasing that leg down. Slowly, when you're ready, vertebra by vertebra, coming back down. Taking the hands up, taking the feet up, rolling the wrists. Okay, final time. Taking your variation. If you've taken a couple of wheels, you might want to take a half bridge just to ease yourself back out, or if you took one leg up on that side, maybe taking the other leg up. Inhaling, reaching up, maybe taking the other leg up to the sky, making sure not to dump into one side. Keeping breathing, holding here, slowing the breath. When you're ready, planting the foot back down if it's lifted, slowly coming down in your own time, taking the feet up, taking the hands up. I'm going to bend the knees, roll the body in towards, roll the knees in towards the body. I'm going to roll forwards and backwards on the spine, coming to sit, all the way up. We're going to release now through the spine, taking the right knee in towards the left thigh. If you've got a belt here, want to take a belt, you can wrap the belt around that left foot. We're going to inhale, elongate the spine, and then exhale, folding forwards, either taking hold of the foot or keeping the hands around the belt, holding here. For 1, 2, 3, keeping the spine nice and straight. 4 and 5, inhaling, coming up, swapping the belt if you've got it around the foot, taking the left foot into the right thigh, inhaling, elongating the spine, exhaling, folding forwards. For 1, 2, keeping that right knee cup, pulling up to the thigh. 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Taking both legs now long in front of you, just moving the flesh of the buttocks out to the side. Inhaling, elongating the spine. Exhaling, folding forwards, taking hold of the sides of the feet, or maybe wrapping the belt around the feet, keeping the spine nice and long. Inhaling, exhaling, folding forwards. Releasing through the spine, releasing through the backs of the legs. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming all the way back up. And come down now onto our backs. For our final postures, rolling slightly side to side, we're going to come into our happy baby. So taking the hands to the outside blades of the feet, drawing the knees down towards the hips. Slowing the breath down here, maybe closing down the eyes. Keeping the back pressing into the mat. Maybe moving ever so slightly from side to side, just massaging out the backs of the kidneys, but no fast movements here. Letting the breath be nice and long. And finding stillness. Slowing down the body, slowing down the breath. Inhale, draw the feet together, hugging the knees into the chest, keeping hold of the right foot, taking the left foot out long in front of you. Coming now into our easy spinal twist, so taking hold of the right knee with the left hand. We're going to take the right arm out to the side. If you're a bit short on space, maybe just bending at the elbow, coming into a cactus arm. Taking the right knee over the left side of the body, taking the gaze over that right shoulder. Just making note of that right shoulder if it's lifting off the ground at all. Just easing off slightly with that knee. Allowing that right shoulder to press down into the ground. Again, closing down the eyes here if that's comfortable for you. Inhaling, coming back to the centre, squeezing that right knee in towards the body, taking that right leg out long in front of you, and taking the left knee into the body, taking the left knee with the right hand, left arm out to the side, taking the left knee over the body, taking the gaze over that left hand. Again, just keeping an eye on that left shoulder if it's lifting off at all, just easing off a bit with that knee. Holding here. Unwinding through the spine. And then inhaling, coming all the way back to the centre, squeezing that left knee in towards the shoulder. And exhaling, that left knee, left leg straightens to meet the right. Reshuffling yourself on your mat, taking any final movements that you want to take before coming to rest in your Shavasana. So taking the legs out long in front of you, allowing the feet to splay out to the sides. Arms resting down the sides of the body, fingers gently curling in towards the palms, palms facing up to the sky. Tucking the hips down so the spine is long, tucking the shoulders down, letting the neck be long, tucking the chin slightly in towards the chest. Allowing the body to completely surrender into the mat. After quite a dynamic flow. Finding complete stillness here. Starting to recognize how the body's feeling, recognizing any areas of tension or tightness, or maybe any areas that feel that they've had a bit of a release. Just guiding the breath, guiding the energy to those areas. Allowing the body to completely soften, melting into the mat. If you want to stay longer here, feel free to pause the video and just join back when you're ready. starting to bring the awareness back into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bringing a bit of life back into the body. When you're ready, gently rolling over onto your right side. With the hand resting under the side of the face, gently supporting yourself to come back up to a seated position, either legs crossed or legs held long in front of you, maybe on your knees, whatever's comfortable. Keeping the eyes closed or keeping the gaze just softly downwards. Recognizing how the body feels, maybe your skin's tingling. Maybe your breathing isn't quite back to its resting pace. Maybe your mind started racing again. Just putting aside all of those thoughts. Just finding stillness for a final moment. Bringing the hands up together in front of the heart center. And with the hands together, generating a bit of heat between the palms. Taking the hands over the eyes, feeling the darkness behind the hands and gently opening the eyes into that darkness. Taking the hands down in front of the heart center. Namaste everybody. Thank you. Hope you all have a great week.